Thank you for reporting for Saturday Morning Hero. We've got our Legend Series interview number 3, featuring none other than my 2 favorite youth football players of all time, Mr. John Ross Griffin to my right and Mr. Grant Jelon Roberts to my left. Y'all get ready. It's going to be something special today. We're sitting here with one of my favorite youth football players of all time, Mr. John Ross Griffin. How you doing today, JR?
Man, I'm doing good. Thanks for having me.
Okay, I'm more than pleased to have you here, man. It's been an amazing ride watching you as a student athlete, and I'm looking forward to continuing to see you do great things, man. So I really just want to start out kind of by going back. I know we talked a little bit ago about things that you can't remember as a youth football player, but I remember seeing you in 3rd grade. Do you remember anything about that 3rd grade season?
Man, yeah, 3rd grade was my first year of tackle football. I played in SVAA, and I played up a year, so I was playing with 4th graders. The biggest thing I remember was my very first practice and pass. I just remember, I came out there, and I didn't have a lot of doubt in my mind that I was gonna enjoy hitting people. I knew that, and I just remember I came out. My dad dropped me off, he picked me up, and he asked me what position I was playing, and I said I'm playing quarterback. And I just remember him being so surprised because he's like, man, my 3rd grade son just came out here and is going to be the quarterback on a 4th grade team. So I remember that. And I just remember throughout the season, man, I loved it. We played a downhill offense under center. And it was a great experience. I remember I loved it from the very first time I put on pads and hit somebody. It's meant to be.
Yeah, I remember something that you said to me, man, when you were getting ready to go play tackle for the first time. You was like, yeah, I'm playing up in the 4th grade next year. I'm ready. I was like, okay, I believe you. And then I had to coach against you. Now, I was coaching with Coach D and his brother, Coach Tiny. We had this Eagles team. And Jamont, he started out in the league coaching under me. He was your head coach. And so it was our first time actually matching up against each other. And our offense got down by the goal line. And this little 3rd grader comes up and makes the goal line stand on 4th down to stop us. And then he comes back and scores the winning touchdown. So they beat us. So I lost the first game head-to-head against my former assistant coach because of you, man.
My bad, but
yeah,
I just remember, man, from the very beginning. I was playing to win always as a kid, and that's something that I think is important instill in kids, definitely, like winning mindset and having that winning culture about you. And I had that. I was lucky and blessed to have that instilled in me by my coaches growing up. Definitely, and I had that in 3rd grade. So
yeah, and that's something that I have to say. That's one of the reasons why I consider you one of my favorite youth football players of all time, man. Because you were going to compete regardless, and you were going to do everything you could to make a difference in the game. So I coached against you in 3rd grade. Fast forward 3 years. Well, no, let's go to that 5th grade season, which would have been your 4th grade year. I was the head coach of a Broncos team. You smashed me again. I think y'all actually won the championship. You remember your 4th grade season playing for the Falcons?
Yeah, so what was that? I was in 4th grade playing in the 5th grade league. Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, that was under Joe Rogers. He was the head coach. He was one of my all-time favorite coaches I had.
We'll be interviewing him sometime soon, too.
Oh, definitely should. Man, that season, I remember everything clicked for us that season. We had a really good team. A lot of really good kids from where we were mostly built up of kids going to Richardson North Junior High. That was a lot of fun. That was a lot of fun winning the championship. That was my first time winning a Super Bowl right there, I believe. Yeah. So, yeah.
Y'all smashed us in the first round en route to that title. Y'all had a real physical team that year, and a bunch of, it seemed like everybody played their roles. And Joe and of course, your dad did a really great job coaching y'all. You moved on as an actual 5th grader and played up in the 6th grade the next year. And I happened to I happened to acquire a team called the sixth grade Cowboys, and payback was given. You remember anything about them sixth grade Cowboys?
I remember that the playoff game, you told them to take down my legs. That's what I'm.
That is not true.
That's what I remember. No, it was they beat us real good in the playoffs, man. I remember they had a really good team. They had a kid. What was his name? Quarterback who was at.
Oh,
Trent Jones,
yes, Trent
maybe.
Jones.
I remember him. Y'all had a number of players, but that was my first. That's my first remembrance of you in a rivalry and a coaching. Where I recognized, like, man, this guy. This is a dude right here, definitely.
And interestingly enough, we team up the next season. Your actual sixth grade year, they put you on our Packers team. Now that team was a special team, man, and we just finished talking a little bit about some of the guys that are actually still playing. But do you remember some of those guys that you played with on that Packers team?
Yeah, no, I mean, there was from top to bottom. I mean, if you go and look at the guys who are on that team, whether they're playing sports or not still, I mean, they're all very successful in everything they're doing. We had, let's see, just name a few, Kendall Catching, playing at Georgetown. Grant Finney won a couple state championships at Allen, went on to go play in college and still running track at Sam Houston State. Colin Carpenter, he had a good career.
Colin
Carpenter. Let's see, that's just to name a few.
Hey, the running back, Jordan, God, I can't remember his last name.
Davis?
I don't remember, but
Jordan, he was from,
he was like a private school kid.
he was like a Green Hill, maybe.
Mhm.
Maybe. Yeah, it was a team of a bunch of misfits, man. And it was a perfect match across the board. We came together at the right time, and we had a really good team.
Y'all really did, man. Y'all were a pleasure to coach because y'all could actually run your own practices. Like, we would come out and, as 11 and 12-year-old kids, y'all were running the whole practice, getting the game plan in, getting ready to play against who you were getting ready to play that week. One of the greatest things I remember about that team was how many points y'all gave up on the season. Do you remember?
We gave up 4 points, and that's a testament to 3 other guys I forgot to mention. I got to shout them out.
Oh.
One of my boys growing up, Javarie Hicks.
Javarie.
And then you got Noah King, who I played with him, and then from that point on, 7th grade all the way to my senior year in high school, I played against him every single year.
Sure did.
And Richardson. And then Jaiz Jones also.
Jaiz
Jones.
Yes.
And
yes.
he was a kid from Lake Highlands, and then he ended up finishing at SOC for high school. Great athlete. He was a great dude. But, no, we gave up 4 points that year. We had I threw an interception on an extra point that the team returned, and we gave up a safety. But that was it. 2
safeties on the whole year. The Super Bowl game was amazing. We ended up beating one of our rival coaches by 30. But he had a good group of kids over there. We didn't really – I mean, there wasn't any poor sportsmanship with those Colts guys. They did everything they could, but that team was just amazing. So after you left SVAA, you went into the junior high ranks. You had a couple of good years there, and then you moved on to J.J. Pearce. One of the plays that stands out for me when you were at Pearce was against my alma mater, Richardson High School, and it epitomized what I believe a Saturday morning hero is. I think the game was tight. They threw a pass to you. It was a little bit overthrown. In fact, as the ball was in the air, I called it. I said, that's too far, but JR fixing to get that. And I looked at Jamont, who was sitting by me, your former Little League coach. And can you tell me what happened on that play?
Well, just to elaborate where he was sitting on the Richardson High School sideline.
I was.
Because he's a Richardson High School alumni. And, it was Richardson versus Pearce. It was a tight game, a rivalry game. Obviously, schools being a mile apart. It was a ball from Rhett Schvetgoff. He was playing quarterback. And he overthrew me on a post by a little bit, but I ended up stretching out and making a catch. But, no, those games, man, those Pearce Richardson games, that's where you saw so many SVAA people, so many people I grew up with getting to come out and watch, and people I played against. I mean, that definitely epitomizes like the Saturday morning hero spirit. You know, just having so many people from the hometown and the great city of Richardson, North Dallas. You know, being able to be at that game, and but that was a good moment in my high school career.
Yeah, it was something about the spirit in the building that day, because you leaped, laid out, and made a fingertip grab. That comes from the soul. That comes from the heart, right?
No, definitely. I mean, it was just pure desire. You know, it was just such a great atmosphere. I mean, it was probably 10,000 plus in Eagle Mustang, and yeah, no, it was just one of those plays that I'll cherish forever. Definitely.
We will too, man. It was amazing. From high school, you were able to experience something every high school athlete wants to experience, and that's National Signing Day. Take us through the National Signing Day experience for that actual day that you did the signing with Air Force.
I'd say that actual day is just really you sit there and you reflect. For me, at least, it was a day for me to reflect on just kind of how blessed I had been all my life and all the people that had got me to this point, including Maine right here. Without him, shoot, I don't know where my development would have been. He helped develop me a ton as a kid, as a player, as a grown into a young boy to a young man. I mean, yeah, National Signing Day is something that if you're able to experience, it's a very special moment that you get to have with your friends and family. And yeah, it's for me at least, it was a really great moment where I could sit back and realize just all the blessings of my life and just be thankful for what I've for the people that had gotten me to that point. So,
and you know, we definitely appreciate you recognizing us. I know you've been working out with Eddie Jackson for a long time. Eddie Jackson Sr., one of the staples in our community, has helped so many young men, young student athletes, young women as well. And I mean, we just want to thank you for being what you were leading up to that point, and then being what you are at this time. So you did go to Air Force and stayed there, what, about a year and a half, 2 years?
2.5 years. Yeah, I was there for 2.5 years, and then decided I needed to make a change, and I ended up transferring to SMU, where I'm currently at. Got a couple years of eligibility left, so hoping to put on for the hometown, man, and have a couple good years left to finish my collegiate career.
Man, you know we want to come see you, bro. I've been wanting to come see you at SMU. I thought you would go there out of high school. It's crazy how things work out. That you're a Mustang again. How does it feel to be a Mustang again? I mean,
I guess I bleed red and blue, man. But yeah, no, it feels great. It's an absolute honor to be back in Dallas, man, and I mean, if I wasn't back here, I don't know if I'd even have this opportunity to do this interview right now. I mean, it's truly amazing how everything is, come around for me, and how I'm back here and getting to play again in front of my friends and family. And it just is great. And SMU is a program, we're still on the rise, and it's going to be a really fun 2018 season here coming up.
I'm excited for you, man. It's pretty amazing. What are you studying?
I'm studying sport management. That's what I'll graduate next May with my sport management degree, and then hopefully get my master's from the Cox School of Business after that.
Wow, you got big plans. Well, I'll tell you what, we know that anything you set your mind to, you will achieve. You've been doing it. Heck, ever since you were knee-high to a grasshopper that I can remember. And you didn't even come up to the top of my thigh at one point, I think, when I first met you. But now you tower over me. You're a grown man, and we're proud of you. We definitely want you to come out and see the kids that are playing in the SVAA any chance you get. Want to see you at the high school games as well. I'm trying to figure out any other thing that I want you to lay out. I think there was a big conversation that you and I had right when my son Gentry was going into high school, and you talked to him about some of the things that he needed to focus on. to be a student athlete? Because he was actually still playing at the time. Can you give these young student athletes that are, eighth graders getting ready to come into the ninth grade a few pieces of advice about being a student athlete and how to handle it?
Yeah, my first piece, I'll elaborate on what we were just talking about earlier. Time flies. I mean, just sitting here, I'm kind of bringing back some emotions about, when I was in high school and growing up. I mean, it seems like it was just yesterday, but it's gone by so quickly. And you just need to cherish every moment that you have and take advantage of the opportunities that you have while you're in high school, up-and-coming student athlete. Don't take it for granted. Don't take one moment lightly because, one bad decision, you're one bad decision away from it being ripped away from you prematurely. But then again, every moment you have an opportunity to build yourself up and become a better and better student athlete, better human being. High school, I love the development of high school and being able to grow up in a town, in a suburb like Richardson, and just be able to grow up with the community that brought you up. You owe it to more than just yourself, but to the people who have gotten you to that point. So I think that's very important, definitely to think about.
I agree, man. We really appreciate you sitting down with us, JR. John Ross Griffin, everybody. I almost messed up his last name. I cannot do that. Mr. John Ross Griffin, my Saturday morning hero. Appreciate you, bro. Tank Evans. I'm sitting here with my man, Grant Roberts, my first nephew. How you doing today, Grant?
Doing great.
Good to see you, man. Good to see you. Now, you cannot come out here and interview with me and give me these short answers because you remember I used to pick on these fourth and fifth graders you were interviewing during the season last year, man. I need a little bit of elaboration. How's the senior year been going?
Senior year is awesome. We struggled a little bit, but we've kind of found a groove here late, and hopefully we can get rolling this last week and hopefully secure a playoff spot, whether it be 4 seed or what. We just need to get in.
So when you say we're struggling, you're talking about your baseball team, right?
Yeah. We've had some hiccups early in the season, losing 2 games to start off the season to Pearce. Big rivalry that we probably shouldn't have lost, but it happened. Then losing 2 more games to a really good Jesuit team, and starting off the season 0-4, and to bounce back and win 2 against WT White, and really kind of got us going and getting us into rolling in district. And we've had a couple of hiccups since then, but other than that, we've been playing good baseball.
Seems like you guys have turned it on. Let's go back to your youth football experience because I know you haven't been actually playing the game in a few years, but I do know that one of the reasons that you are with John Ross Griffin, one of my favorite youth, or my 2 favorite youth football players of all time, is your competitive drive. I think I told you when you were an infant, your father and I, we had a little high school football, the ones the cheerleaders throw out, and we would throw that to you, and you would catch it, and we would cheer, and you'd be like, yeah, and then we would throw it to you, and you would drop it, and we would kind of like boo or just kind of get down, and you would almost want to cry, man. You were a competitive young man. Tell us a little bit about how when you first put the pads on in 3rd grade, what was your mindset going out? Were you even thinking about it, or were you just like, oh, I'm playing football?
I was a little nervous, to be honest. I mean, it was football. It was my first year of tackle football. I knew my dad played football, and he was a football fanatic, and I knew that he may have had some high expectations for me, even being a 3rd grader. But I just went out there, and I ended up having fun and loving the game. I really still do love the game, even though I don't play it. But playing that 3rd grade year with buddies that I'm still friends to this day.
Yellow Jackets.
Yeah. Shout out Zach and Caden. Played baseball with Caden and played football with Zach in high school. It really was fun. Even though we didn't have a great season, we struggled, but we were still learning how to play the game, and we were enjoying how to play the game.
Y'all were 3rd graders playing up, man, so it has to be an experience. You gotta learn Um, do you remember what positions you played? You started for that Yellow Jackets team at what position?
I couldn't tell you. I don't even remember what number I was, to be honest.
Dude, you played quarterback for that team as a third grader.
I mean, I guess that makes a lot of sense. You know, quarterback is the leader of the field. So is being a catcher. So I guess it kind of went hand in hand.
And I think it's because there is so much about the game that you knew, even in third grade, that a lot of the other kids that were playing with you just didn't quite get. How did you come to understand the game of football the way you do?
When I watch sports, me and my dad watch sports a lot. You know, we just sit there and we'll talk. We'll pause the game to talk about, you know, what play just happened, and he'll teach me things that, you know, maybe some kids don't want to ask what happened, and I was always asking those questions, always trying to figure out how to know every situation possible and be able to react in every situation. So I guess it started real young when I was even before third grade and playing flag football. I still asked a lot of questions and tried to figure out the game as best as I can to be the smartest at the game.
And you've done a fine job at that. From that third grade year, you stayed down in the fourth grade, and I ended up getting a chance to coach you again. But we put together a different staff, and we became the Bobcats. There was something special about that season, man. Tell us about that second fourth grade season that you experienced.
Well, first off, I hated that color, that maroon color, man. I know my dad came home and he said, "We're the Bobcats."
Texas State.
Said, "What? That is ugly." Because that's the first thing I thought was A&M Aggies. You know, I'm a Longhorn fan, and I thought the maroon was gonna be Aggie, ugly maroon, and you know, I ended up putting the jersey on anyway to play, and I had fun, and we had a lot of success that year, and it was just fun. It was a great season.
You shouted out some of the guys from the Yellow Jackets. Are there some guys that are seniors with you this year that played on that Bobcats team that may or may not go to school with you that you want to shout out?
Yeah. One of my good buddies, Sam Sullivan. I just played him this past week against Berkner. He's playing baseball over there, and played football at Berkner. Trevor Lewis at Pearce. He was a good buddy of mine. Still talk a little bit. Geez, there was a lot of people.
Wow.
Graham Schamberger. He moved to New Mexico a couple years ago, and I mean he was a great football player. I haven't really talked to him in a while, but I know he's probably doing great things out there in New Mexico.
I agree, man. You know, that was a heck of a team. We ended up getting to the Super Bowl, and we ended up getting rocked pretty good by that Falcons team. And those guys are seniors too. A lot of those players, like who played on that team? Did Travis West play for them? There's a kid with last name Zasper. I mean, just a great group of kids. They put it on us. They knew the game a lot better than we did. So we come back for the fifth grade year, and we become a team that we had never been. We always been Steelers, Packers, Cowboys, but we get the Lions. How'd you feel about being the Lions in fifth grade?
I wanted to be the Cowboys. Yes. Not gonna lie.
Everybody does.
My dad came home once again, said, "Oh, we got the Lions." I said, "Are you kidding me? You don't want to get any somewhat good team?" Because the Lions were not a good NFL football team at the time,
and they were never a good SVAA team either.
And I guess he said, "Well, we gotta make them a good team," and we ended up having another good season. We fell short in the Super Bowl again to the Falcons again.
Mr. James Monroe.
Team, yeah, played with James.
Carter Durham.
Carter, a good buddy of mine, yeah. But that season was really just physical, and we played real physical football, and we had a lot of fun doing it, you know, laughing, jumping, you know, clowning, pretty much, just having fun.
Wasn't that the season where Jalen Patterson did the somersault into the end zone?
Yeah, that was fifth grade. He also did the Dougie.
He did the Dougie. Oh my goodness, crazy times. So we leave fifth grade, back-to-back Super Bowl losses, but we still had great years. We get to that sixth grade season, and we've got this phenomenal team. We got Davion Coleman just signed his letter of intent to go play at Arizona in the fall. We had Josh Cummins. We had a bunch of amazing young people on that team. Um, do you have any memory from that sixth grade season that stands out?
Yeah, sixth grade is the year I really remember. I remember, me and Zach fought in elementary school. Fist fought because we went to the same elementary in sixth grade, but got on the football field together, and we're brothers, man. Zach's going to play at Northwestern Oklahoma State in the fall. Davion just missed weight by like half a pound.
Yes.
Was a huge dog of a defensive lineman for us, going to play cornerback at Arizona. Josh was just a rock fullback.
Solid.
Will was our guy that controlled the offense, man, and he did the best job ever.
You say Will who?
Will Minton. He's Plano Senior High graduate this year, and he wasn't the best player, but he was the smartest, I would say, because he knew how to lead the team at the quarterback position.
Yeah, great season. We got to the Final Four. We faced a team that we had beaten like 38-0 a few weeks before, and I think I kept trying to remind y'all that it wasn't going to be the same team when we played them in that Final Four game to see who gets to the Super Bowl. Do you remember that last sixth grade game?
Yeah, I remember that last sixth grade game, man. We struggled. We didn't play our best game, but we still played good enough to beat that team, and we were beating that team. And late in the game, we made some sixth grader mistakes, I would say, by yelling "hut" on defense. Trying to draw them offside. It worked a couple of times, but eventually we got caught and got penalized. And ended up benefiting the other team, and they took that and they rolled with it the rest of the game. We just struggled. It was a tough way to end my SVAA career, though.
Physical battle, right?
Yeah, it was crazy. It was a crazy physical game for sixth grade.
Yeah, that team was coached by Larry Ford, and the quarterback was none other than Mr. Caden Kirk. Fantastic season. So you leave the youth football ranks, move over into junior high. You play a couple of years, 7th and 8th at Apollo. I got to see you play out there. Then you get to Richardson, my alma mater, our alma mater, your father's school, my daughter's school. And you played freshman ball, playing quarterback, right?
Yes, sir.
And then you were on JV your sophomore year. Tell me about that second season, playing quarterback at Richardson on the JV.
Well, first off, my freshman year was pretty bad. I threw maybe 17 interceptions, and it wasn't a great year. But my sophomore year, I kind of turned it around, and we kind of figured it out. I think we went 4-6 or 6-4. I can't remember, but we had some studs on that team. Nick Smith was on that team early in the season. Ended up getting called up to varsity. Jordan Wander, big tight end, was a great target. Alante Tate was a speedy guy. Ended up going to play in Mississippi at Starkville High School, and we were just athletic. We were strong on defense. We had two strong running backs in Joseph Nwinciani and Zach Jackson, who had breakaway speed and fullback strength, and we just had some fun.
I had Jarek for a little while too, right?
Yeah, we had him for the first couple of games, and he was huge, but we knew that his time on JV. Wait, I mean, if he even played JV, I can't remember.
I think he may have played 1 or 2 games, and that was it.
It was short because he was a stud, and he was going to put up on the varsity level pretty quick. Yeah, stop it.
Yeah, so that sophomore year, y'all had a really good year. In fact, I think y'all finished like 4-6. Wasn't that the most wins by a Richardson JV team?
Yeah.
In how many years?
Oh, I couldn't tell you. I think the two JV teams before that actually had 1 win in total.
Yeah.
And they just struggled, and I know at the end of that season, all our JV players were all like, "Man, we should have been on varsity. we all had the big head, and we all thinking we were good and this and that, and we were coming off of a good JV season.
Right, a good JV season.
That's all it was a good JV season. Yeah.
But truthfully, had some of y'all been up there at the next level, it would have made for a stronger junior season. I believe.
Yeah, I think so. I think that is also one of the reasons that I stopped playing, because I wasn't really happy with the with me staying on JV. And I know we had a good quarterback, Michael Johnson, on the varsity level, but I feel like I could have helped him, or he could have helped me, stay in tune with the game and just being up on the varsity level. Just I didn't even get the chance to dress out. I was just a ball boy pretty much that year, and it wasn't really fun for me anymore.
I can understand, man. So you had already been playing varsity baseball since your freshman year, and then decided to go ahead and make that commitment to just focus on the baseball game. And I have to admit, without you, I probably wouldn't even pay attention to baseball. But since you and your father have been into it since you was 4 years old, y'all have really taught me a lot about that game, and I realized how competitive the game is. The success that you guys have had these last 2 seasons, I mean, your sophomore year, you guys went 3 rounds deep. You come back, and you're not even expected to get in, and you get into the playoffs, and you have a pretty competitive series against Rowlett. We actually interviewed you for Friday Night Glory in the last spring. What did you feel like your expectations with as many seniors that y'all had coming back? What did you feel like those expectations were for this season?
Oh, we believed that we had a chance to compete for the first spot in district, for the district title, pretty much. We believe that nobody in Richardson can beat us. And I think we still believe that if we played our best baseball, nobody in Richardson could beat us. We still believe that if we played our best baseball, we could have beat Jesuit. Because we played a good game against Jesuit. We had one game where it was tough and we struggled, and it really showed. We had maybe 7 errors on the field, and then we came back and played a 4-3 ball game, and we were in it all game. And we really showed ourselves at that point that we are really a lot better than what we've been playing, and we are really actually as good as we think we were, and we really kind of just started playing good baseball after that.
That's what it sounds like, man. I mean, you've got one more series in your senior season. That's against Coppell, is it not? Yeah, that's going to be pretty competitive. I know they're one of the top-ranked teams in the whole state. When does that series kick off?
Tuesday night in Coppell. We're traveling over there for their senior night, so that's gonna be a long night because they always got a lot of seniors, man, and we're just hoping to get an upset and keep ourselves alive and keep ourselves in the hunt for a district playoff spot. And then on Friday we come home and we have our senior night, and it's gonna be a long night as well. We've got 9 seniors out on the field that have been playing in this program for 4 years, and we're hoping to hopefully finish. If that's going to be our last game, we're going to end our last game off on a high note and get a win against Coppell, one of the best in the state.
I like the sound of that, man. The confidence there, and just the competitive drive that you have. Now, once you finish your senior year, you were able to experience something that a lot of young student athletes don't get to experience, but the ones who do, they really cherish that moment. You were able to sign a letter of intent on National Signing Day. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so I had 2 signing days. I had one on early signing period with just the baseball players that also signed with me, Will Duncan and Jared Tipton. And it was really special because it was really, close family, close friends there to celebrate our successes on the baseball field, and it was really something special. And then I got to go and I got to sign with all the rest of the athletes who are going to play at the next level in the school on National Signing Day. Wow. And that was that was huge. I mean, there was a lot of people, a lot of students there coming to support. You know, signed with some of my best buddies that aren't baseball players. Zach Jackson, he signed to go play, and that was huge for him. And a couple other players to just get that opportunity to go play at the next level, and you know, continue their careers. It was awesome for all of us, man.
Where are you going?
I'm going to play at Odessa College in West Texas.
West Texas, good old West Texas. Now, I took some trips to West Texas when I played at Midwestern State back in the late '80s. How do you feel about West Texas, man? The tumbleweed, the armadillos.
I feel like it's not going to be that bad, honestly. I mean, I feel like I'll be able to handle it. You know, there's a lot of different, diverse cultures in Richardson, so I'm really used to kind of, you know, changing things and changing lifestyles and figuring it out. So I think I'll be all right out there, hopefully.
We believe in you. You got your cowboy boots, and that's all you really need, huh?
Yeah, yeah, pretty much. Got some awesome boots for Christmas this year. You know, it's pretty excited to go out there, honestly.
You're ready. Just your cowboy boots and a nice fresh pair of Wranglers, and you'll be ready to rock and roll. You got your hat. You're gonna be all right, huh?
Yeah, I think I'll fit in pretty good out there.
We like the sound of that, man. Well, again, you know, you are my nephew. You are a family, but I try to put all of that aside when I coached you in Little League, and I'm actually putting that aside as I'm interviewing you today. Ultimately, you and JR, y'all have really been the prime examples of what Saturday Morning Hero is and was. I mean, I don't know if you guys know, but I started using the term during football games in the early 2000s. I think I was coaching the second group of Steelers. And, you know, I'm an old 80s kid, so I love 80s pop. And there was a song called I Need a Hero. And I would sing that on the sideline to my kids. And they would all of a sudden make these big-time impact plays in the game. And it just kind of stuck. And I kept doing that. Then I would come out and say, who's going to be a Saturday Morning Hero today? Well, I want y'all to know, man, John Ross Griffin and Grant Roberts inspired me to create this organization and cover these youth football players in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, and we're going to continue to do so. Mark Tank Evans signing off for Saturday Morning Hero.